Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the Boardtrack Racer build. In this episode we're mainly going to be dealing with how we're going to fit this motor into that frame. It's going to be a tight fit, but I think we can make it happen. Stay tuned. Okay, for starters we'll just talk about this motor a little bit. It's a 670cc Harbor Freight Predator motor. I picked this motor mainly because after talking to a few people, this is what I think would be the best fit as far as it being a V-twin. These Boardtrack racers are originally V-twins for the most part. They went to single cylinders later, but for the period that I'm going for, it was all V-twin. So this is the most affordable, closest looking motor that I could find without the hassle of trying to have to rebuild something. So brand new motor, everything should run pretty good. It should be more than enough power for the bike. So that's why I went with this motor. As you can see, I already started stripping it down a little bit. My goal is to take off all of the metal shielding around it. That was originally intended for if it was a stationary motor running like a generator or something. It would keep the motor cool with the fan. But I took the fan off, so all the other stuff will come off too, and I think riding it should give it plenty of cooling. So I'm going to continue to do that, but right now I just took off enough so I could get it mocked up. Okay, now let's go over the frame a little bit. As you can see, most of it's mocked up. Originally, I set this up to run a pit bike motor. As you can see right down here, that's set up for the mounting points on a pit bike motor. After some careful thought, I decided to go with the V-twin instead. So I'm going to be getting completely rid of that, as well as that part right there. That was for the oil cooler. So both of those mounts are getting taken off, and I might have to stretch the frame down this way a little bit just to get everything to fit in there. But as far as the frame, it's all DOM tubing. It's 120 thousandths wall, 1.25 inches, I believe, either 1.25 inches or 1.8 inches for that part, this part, this part, and this part. These tubes right here are all inch OD, 120 thousandths wall DOM, and the axle plates are just 1/4 inch plate. So as you can see, I got most of it together. The big thing now is just going to be figuring out how I'm going to jam this motor into there, because the clearance from here to there is too tight right now. So I think I'm going to cut it here and then down here, and then extend it probably 1 inch to 2 inches, and then weld my motor mount down on this part after I stretch the frame down. In mock-up, I had plenty of room. I had about 6 inches below the frame, so I should have plenty of room to go down with it. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. Now I'm just going to figure out how to cut this thing up. Okay, so you can see here a lot has happened. I cut the bottom of the frame off. That's the front. That over here is the back. You can kind of see it below the vice grip. And I made this motor plate. I made this up on my mill, but you can actually just buy these from different go-kart sites. So if you don't have a mill, it's probably cheaper just to buy it, because the 1/4 inch plate's kind of expensive. Plus putting the slots in it's pretty hard if you don't have a mill. Luckily I do have a mill, that beast over there, so made it pretty easy, but not too complicated. I ended up just centering it in the hoop, so that should work pretty good right there. And then you can see I just tacked it on both sides. I'm going to make supports on the bottom, but for now I just tacked it just to make sure everything's going to fit. After I got everything all tacked together, this is the bottom side of the frame, and right now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to brace this. So I could do braces from the corner all the way to here, but most of the load is just going to be between here and this. I just want to keep this plate from twisting on this tube and try to keep the weight down too. So the only reason I left this so big here is it doesn't really need to be all the way over here, but I wanted to protect the bottom of the motor cases, so this covers the whole bottom of the motor. I think I'm just going to take these you can buy like bags of 20 for, I think it's like $5-10 bucks, something like that. But these are super cheap. They sell them at most like fabrication stores, eBay, all that stuff. So I think I'm going to put one in the front, well, one set in the front like this, and then one set in the rear, same idea, kind of like that. And then I might do one more set in the middle, kind of going out. Still not sure yet. So I'm going to fool around with those a little bit and then get them welded in. Okay, that's going to be the end of part 2. Unfortunately, this project has been super slow. Have a lot going on right now. Not to mention it's probably about at least 105 every day here in Vegas during the summer. So without having any kind of AC in my garage, it's just exhausting to do like a 10-hour day and then come home and do this some more. So it's been kind of slow progress, but I am knocking it out. The next step is going to be probably fitting in some type of crank mechanism. I haven't decided if I'm going to do pedals or foot pegs or what I'm going to do yet, but it definitely is going to need some type of jack shaft because the motor is quite wide. That way the sprocket isn't going to be all off to the side. So that'll probably be the next thing in part 3. If you want to see some of the other stuff I'm working on, check out Nate_Mainville on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff on there that I can't post on YouTube, like a lot of the guns I'm building. So if you want to see the other stuff that I'm doing, I would definitely go check that out. Also, let me know what you think of this project. I know a lot of people haven't done anything like this. They usually use like pit bike motors or a smaller single cylinder motor. So as far as I know, I'm the first one to do a video of this, so let me know what you think.